Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
Do you know if you're going to do a hey, or a hello, going in?
Nah, just got to wing it, Mark. You just got to feel it.
Yeah.
We're starting to get to some movies that we've talked about a lot, haven't had time to get around. As you can guess, we're sticking in the 90s. We're doing the looked forward to from Mark Nussle.
Thank you, guys. Just thanks.
The 1998 film, Small Soldiers. In an attempt to help his father's toy store, teenager Alan Abernathy sneaks state-of-the-art action figures into his shop, unaware that these toys are packing a state-of-the-art military defense ship that brings the toys to life. With an all-out war breaking out, Alan must defend the monstrous-looking Gorganites as well as his friends and family from the vicious commando elites. Will Alan be able to destroy the tiny toy mercenaries and defend his new friends? Or will the maniacal Chip Hazard, leader of the commando elites, eliminate all Gorganite scum? Small Soldiers.
Directed by Joe Dante, starring David Cross, Dennis Leary, Kristen Dunst, Gregory Smith, Phil Hartman, and the voice of Tommy Lee Jones.
It's pretty action-packed and borderline violent for a kids' movie.
It's got as many explosions as a Michael Bay movie.
Better CGI than I remembered. Actually, pretty good effects.
You're like, holy shit, what year is this, 1998? You betcha, Toy Story. Toy Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
And beyond that,
Big Trouble, Small Soldiers. Okay, cast and crew. This one's directed by Joe Dante. We've done two, maybe even more. We've definitely done The Burbs. We've definitely done Gremlins. What else? Have we done Interspace? Have we done?
No, but we should. Interspace definitely deserves in there.
Definitely talked about Interspace, but I don't think we've done it.
Music by Jerry Goldsmith. I've talked about him a little before. He did The Burbs, Gremlins, obviously, Interspace.
Company Man.
Hoosiers as well. Company Man, yeah. So go check out his stuff. You've probably heard it before. Air Force One.
Have we done Air Force One? We should do that too.
No, it would just be Get Off My Plane. And
we'd be saying that. You do that like 10 times during that.
Guess what? We're doing this 4th of July. I'll see you in a couple months, Harrison Ford.
That could borderline be a 4th of July movie.
Onto the cast. This one kind of has a lot just because there's a lot of voice actors too. Mm-hmm. We'll kind of speed through it a little bit though. David Cross plays Irwin, one of the toy manufacturer, toy inventors.
You know who David Cross is.
Gorganites.
Arrested Development. You know him from Mr. Show also. Men in Black.
Scary Movie too. Yeah.
Scary movies for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Moore.
Yeah, Jay Moore, I think he was one of those guys who was on SNL for 1 year. Definitely a big role in Jerry Maguire, but he's been in a bunch of stuff like
he's just a friend in a lot of things, isn't he?
Yeah, he's usually a buddy.
I don't feel like he's got a starring platform, but around this time, he's definitely in very similar roles to the one you're seeing him in.
Sure.
Yes.
Small Soldiers.
Yeah, exactly. Alexandra Wilson plays Miss Kegel, sort of the assistant to the Globotech Industries. Gil Mars is played by Dennis Leary, head of Globotech.
I mean, obviously you know him from Fire Show, I can't remember right now, and Ice Age.
Yeah, and go back, similar time, similar role, just as short but a little different. Go back and listen to our Sandlot episode.
He's the dad, right?
He's stepdad.
Yeah,
He's Bill.
I think by the end he becomes his real dad, if you know what I mean.
He doesn't.
Alan Abernathy is played by Alan Abernathy is played by Gregory Smith. He was in a couple like Nick and Disney films. He was in Xenon Girl of the 21st Century and Harriet the Spy.
Yeah, definitely Disney kid, but you're going to know him from playing
The Patriot.
The Patriot. He's Thomas.
The Patriot.
He's the brother that dies at the beginning because he's a hothead.
He's the brother that gets his. It's like, just take a chill pill. All
Wrong
right?
kid died.
He's the reason Gabriel dies. He's the reason.
He's not the reason Gabriel dies. Well, a little bit. No, Gabriel died because he's an idiot too.
Well, it was more his wife.
You got
It
a
was
double
vengeance.
tap.
A little bit of vengeance. Sorry, go on.
It's all right. Joe Dante staple is Dick Miller. I'm starting to really like this guy every time I see him pop up. He's in the Terminator. He was the gun shop owner or the
He's also in
shop owner.
Burbs. Yeah, the garbage man.
Gremlins.
Another company man.
In all of those. Yeah.
He's
familiar face.
He might be my favorite character in this movie.
That's a bold statement.
I know. All right. I'll get to it, but I really like him. In fact, when I rewatch this, I really want to talk about like how he handles his job.
Oh yeah. Flippant. Kirsten Dunst plays Christy. I kind of like when movies like keep the same like obviously her name's Kirsten, but Christy, that's close. I think Phil Hartman, they do Phil. Like,
have we done anything with her? I mean, obviously Spider-Man, Interview with the Vampire. She's a child actress.
Yeah, we did Jumanji. Jumanji's the biggest one we did.
Right.
Well, if you guys are to let me go on a tear here, we can do Bring It On next.
You don't have to twist my
we
arm.
didn't do Bring It On. We did
we did Stick It.
The stepchild Stick It.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Shout out to Lexi and Tice, the people that said, don't do Bring It On, do Stick It.
Always taking requests at coldclassicspodcast@gmail.com. Send them in.
Little Timmy Fimple is played by Jacob Smith. I recognize him. I've seen the Cheaper by the Dozen movies a few times, and he had a familiar face too. So I thought I'd touch on that. Kevin Dunn plays the dad of Alan Abernathy, Stewart.
You would obviously know him from Transformers.
Yep.
And, he's a lot of things. He's a funny guy. I like him.
Phil Hartman plays Phil Fimple, the funny.
There's another name staying
neighbor.
The same for you.
Phil and Phil.
We've done Phil Hartman in something. Oh, Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Well, Jingle All the Way. But this just shows what Phil Hartman can do. You put him in anything, he's gonna bring it. It doesn't matter what's surrounding him. He's gonna pop off the screen.
Onto some of the voices. Chip Hazard, the main commando elites, by Tommy Lee Jones.
I'm not sure if we've done a Tommy Lee Jones, but I mean, Batman Forever from my childhood is my biggest Tommy Lee Jones. But I mean, Double Jeopardy, Fugitive's a big one. Obviously, Men in Black. We'll do that eventually.
Archer's played by Frank Langella. I think he was Nixon in one of the Nixon movies.
Okay,
yeah, Frost Nixon. Yeah,
Frost
isn't
Nixon.
he our guy from? Isn't he in some Tim Burton movies, or am I confusing him?
I don't know. Maybe.
Huh.
Is that Frank Welker?
Give me a second. Frank Langella or Langella. Is that what we're talking about? We know some of the stuff he's in, right?
Okay,
I think so.
It was Frost Nixon. Yeah, whatever. Sorry,
you're gonna know a lot of these, so we don't.
In fact, I'll be quiet till questions, comments.
Ernest Borgnine plays Kip Killigan, one of the commandos. Jim Brown from Mars Attacks plays Butch. Bruce Dern from The Burbs plays Link Static, the communications guy.
Company man. I love all the returning people.
The trio from Spinal Tap is in this somehow that I missed me as a child. As
voice actors,
as voice actors. Christopher Guest. These are the Gorgonzolas.
Gorganites.
Yeah, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer play some of the Gorganites. And then the Barbie dolls are Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci.
Also interesting. Again, one of those movies where you're like, they're in this too. Pretty big cast, but also pretty big names, so we don't really have to touch on these people too much. But per usual, we aren't an information podcast. We're an opinion podcast. So let's move it on to Unverified. Welcome to the Cult Classic Movie Phone. It's July 10th, 1998, and currently in theaters you could have seen Halloween H2O, Ever After, that Cinderella movie with Drew Barrymore that I like, and my mom.
Like is an understatement.
I love it. The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. Basketball.
We could do basketball. Be tough to just fun.
Saving Private Ryan. The Mask of Zorro. I
like The Mask of Zorro.
I do too. I watched it actually like 4 months ago.
It's good. I like an action adventure.
There's Something About Mary. Dennis the Menace Strikes Again.
That is a free matinee in Manchester if I've ever heard one.
Sure is. Madeline and Lethal Weapon 4.
Madeline
and Lethal Weapon 4. But you chose Small Soldiers.
Probably didn't make the right
give it to you
decision
now.
at the time if that's what I chose, but I'm happy.
No, I would have seen Saving Private Ryan. I would have seen The Parent Trap. I would have seen Halloween H2O and Ever
8-year-old
After
Mark
before
is
this one.
fine with my choice, though.
Yeah,
Couple Rolos, couple buttered
that's
popcorns.
it. So 8-year-old Mark made the right choice. He's like, do I do Dennis the Menace or do I do?
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, because it's Dennis the Menace Strikes Again. It's a sequel. You know what you're in for. You don't need that.
If you were like, oh, they're two action-packed movies, should I see Saving Private Ryan or Toy Soldiers? I don't know. Sorry, Small Soldiers. I'm going to say that a million times. Small Soldiers, you made the wrong choice, probably.
Do you have the budget and the box office on this one?
Yeah, I do. And this is, guys, these numbers are never coming back. If there's never going to be a hit network show again, I mean, $40 million, it's not an absurd budget, but it still made almost $90 million. It made $87.5 million. Come on.
I mean, that's pretty good. Do you want to hear something kind of crazy?
I do.
They worked really closely with Hasbro to also make a line of toys after this, and the toys far outperformed the movie. They made more money off merchandise.
Hand up, had a toy. Had both the toys.
Yeah, I think I did too, actually. I forget which. I had a Gorganite.
I can speak on behalf of myself and the three of us. I wanted a toy so much more than I wanted to see this movie.
You know what's
Yeah, and
I didn't even know there was
a little bit of a
movie as
disappointment though when you get the toy. It's like, oh, but it doesn't
move
destroy
or talk or do anything.
It's the
Did
toy.
nothing.
I got one of those chip whatevers, and I'm like, oh, it's really lifelike, but it was pretty racist, and I didn't like that.
So this is a sad one, but the murder of Phil Hartman happened before the premiere. He was, I'm not sure if this was the last thing he filmed, but this was just definitely released after he died. So because of that, people didn't want to they didn't want to bum people out during the advertising. So all the advertising during the marketing just featured the toy soldiers, and they never showed a single human in it.
Oh wow, okay. So there's a lot of like Gremlins stuff, a lot of references. There's I guess like a Gremlin skull on Alan's desk, and even just the password at the Globotex that they give David Cross's Gizmo, which is obviously the Mogwai's name. So a little bit of a nod there.
And I'm pretty sure he even has something in the Burbs where, like, on the breakfast table in the morning, the cereal is like Gremlin cereal or something.
Oh, okay, cool.
I like those
little
times,
posters, stuff like that. It's always cool.
If you make the world, sprinkle it in.
So you might be wondering, or kind of getting the sense, like, this is kind of an edgy movie for a child's, like, toy movie. And that's because Joe Dante was originally told that he was supposed to make an edgy picture for teenagers. But when the sponsors and the tie-ins came in with Hasbro and they were like, well, we obviously need to market this as like a child's thing for the money. Then they had to try to soften it up, but it was too late because they were already into production. So they essentially took out a bunch of explosions to get the rating.
A bunch? There's still a bunch in there.
And they took out a lot.
I feel like they got a big one in there. So prior to the movie being like completely finished, they had this big marketing thing with Burger King. They were going to release toys.
That's too bad. Burger King missed the memo here.
They really did. And they pulled it, but like, this is just too strong of a PG-13. We're not going to do it anymore. So I don't know the exact years, but they probably switched to those sunglasses that Cameron and I got a bunch of from Wild West.
Fun fact, this was the first toy that they had associated with the PG-13 movie, and Wild Wild West was the second PG-13 associated toy. It's funny that you say that.
Never gonna do that movie.
Those glasses were pretty cool, though. No,
those were dope. I had so many.
They were awesome. I'd wear them.
You don't know
right
what
now.
we're talking about? Burger King Kids Meals had Wild Wild West sunglasses associated with the movie.
There was so many good things about Wild Wild West that surrounded it, minus the movie itself. But obviously, Will Smith's Wild Wild West. It's his third best song. Joe Dante originally wanted the cast of 1987's Predator to do the voice of the Commando Elite.
I kind of think that'd be fun.
It would have been Arnold, Shane Black, Kip, whatever. It would have been that, but Arnold would have been distracted.
A little too much, probably.
I think
Carl Weathers would have been fine.
Yeah, everybody else would have been fine.
Put the cookie down.
What do you guys think about this? They were going to originally heavily to depend on puppetry instead of the CGI route they went. And they even did do a lot of filming of they were going to do filming of puppetry on blue screen and then superimpose it with the live action later. But the lighting was just off, and it turns out the technology was fine. So it's mostly CGI, but there are some puppetry in there.
There's moments where the CGI is like, okay, yep, that's 98. But then honestly,
for the most part, it's pretty good.
Pretty decent.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the big difference between the Commander Elite versus Gorgonite. I feel like the Gorganites, is it Knights? Knots?
Gorganites?
Gorgonzolas, according to Phil Hartman.
I think the Gorgonzolas, they were much more actual figure. No, not animated. I feel like because they also didn't. I don't want to get ahead of myself. They didn't do anything.
Here's the thing. I think because they're toys and they already look kind of like the CGI wasn't as distracting. Whereas something in like Titanic, where like a big ship is on the ocean, it's a little more distracting.
The smoothness of the toys themselves kind of lends to the CGI, which I think made it easier. You want to hear something funny?
I do.
Yeah.
They've been working apparently on trying to do a follow-up sequel for the film, and they stated that it's at a standstill because they've failed to reach Tommy Lee Jones through fax on numerous occasions. He's just ghosting them and won't respond.
Classic
If that's
Tom.
what's holding you up, and I love Tommy Lee Jones,
get a new voice,
probably 93-year-old Tommy Jones or however old he is, just move on. I don't think he's the clinch. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you can go on after it.
Yeah, there's got to be a guy out there who can do like a military type of base boot camp voice,
Yeah, go into every action adventure alien movie and somebody's playing the general.
Yeah, sure. That's true.
And it's not Tommy Lee Jones.
And for more information, wait around till our recasting because we'll have 3 different options for you. This is the first movie that DreamWorks Pictures co-produced with Universal Pictures, and it was also the first DreamWorks live action film to be rated PG-13 until Deep Impact, which was the same year.
Okay.
Deep Impact. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking Day After Tomorrow.
This is sort of on that same line with production. One of the only PG-13 movies to ever be sold in a video cassette in a clamshell case, and also the last.
So the clamshells, those were just like for kids' movies? The Disney's always came in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, right? The big plastic ones that had the outer rim.
And I do remember it coming in that big white thing, with the blue and
the last.
I think what happened is they marketed a PG movie, they made a PG-13 movie, and they edited an R movie.
And they made the profits, though, of a PG movie still. They made all that marketing.
Like a PG-13, yeah.
What's with the clamshell case? Is it like that's a hardback to a softback of like the normal sleeves that you get?
Definitely more protection than just like cardboard,
Looks nice.
Until now, it never occurred to me that, all those are kids' movies and most of the other ones just have the cardboard sleeve.
Side note,
Secret of Ronin-ish came in clamshell. That's that Seal movie. Yeah.
Nah, it didn't.
I can probably think of some others that didn't deserve
I like
that,
a Nickelodeon cassette that's an orange cassette. You ever seen those?
One.
Yeah. A colored cassette.
Nice play by them.
Let us know if we missed any fun facts in this movie, but we're going to move it on to questions.
Comments.
Animosities.
Questions, comments, animosity.
Question, comment, animosity. Comment.
Can I start with a comment?
Sure can.
Swear to God, first time I watched this movie, I thought
I was hoping it was going to be somebody's first watch.
Not overly surprising. I mean, the age difference. You were probably like 12 or something, though. So it's
I was like 12 when it came out, but it definitely would have been a movie that I could have seen. It definitely was like I remember it being marketed like we said before. So you're going to get the fresh perspective of a 36-year-old to just watch this, not a 12-year-old. Who's now 30-something. All right, so
I watched it with my girlfriend as well. She's like, why do you like this so much? I'm like, well, I was 8 at the time.
It was a pretty big deal.
I fucking love this movie. I don't know.
The TV told me I was going to love it.
Mark has and always will hit indigenous type of people. He's pro the
Commando Elites.
Sorry, the Commando Elites.
Just comment for you. If you're watching a kids movie and you're looking for the bad guy, it's anyone with a company named Globo or International. They are the bad guy.
Globotech, that's
that's the bad guy right at the beginning. I wonder if that power plant will be important at the end of the movie. It's Globotech. They're the villains.
It's Globotech. They're the villains. I'll be honest, again, I'll try not to harp, but here's how I knew I didn't see this movie. I'm like, oh, David Cross is in it, and Jay Moore, and Kirsten Dunst. I'm like, oh.
You kept kind of perking up, yeah.
I guess I haven't seen this movie. I was shocked that this many people are in it.
Did you recognize some of the voices? Did you recognize like Tommy Lee Jones and like Christina Ricci? Like some
For sure, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones, but nobody else. But
Harry
I wasn't
Shearer
like
and the rest?
No. But I wasn't like for sure on Tommy Lee Jones. I had to look it up. I'm like, who is that? Is that, but I came to it.
No, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Christina Ricci. I knew there was somebody. I was like, is that like Britney Spears? Like, who is that?
It was
that was kind of a fun find.
I got a big animosity for you. Generic chip that just has AI capability. This is like a weapons chip.
What chip is that? There's a lot of science stuff in this that
it's definitely a learning chip because they just totally, become animated. They come alive.
Yeah, they didn't really explain what the chip was going to do.
All you have to put it just X1000. It sounds.
You
sick.
still have to program stuff. Like you still have to give it like a design. Like you're telling me David Cross didn't once be like, this chip has a lot of defense in it, and like it seems pretty.
Well, also,
password.
Again, just from my point of view, it looked like they just put a chip inside a plastic doll, and they're like, that takes care of that. It should work.
Yeah, it just doesn't work like that. Does not work like that. Chips are not that transferable.
But and then why is Larry Moore just sorry, what's his name? Jay Moore. Sorry, his name is Larry. Why is he's going into military like
yeah, there's other chips. Just like
there's other chips.
Yeah, pick any other chip that's just like not classified and dangerous and like abnormal, you know?
Oh, that was confusing. Just because like Dennis Leary's company took it over. Then they had
encompassing,
so they just had the ability to get these
military chips.
Okay, all right.
And I'll also say this animosity. It's unbelievable that they're so robotic and mechanical and they can move, let alone that they have AI and they're conscious and smart. Maybe one or the other. They didn't get both into one toy.
And I get that the Gorgonzolas can learn, but there's a couple coming out with like catchphrases.
They also can feel. I just want to let you know that too. A lot of feeling coming from the Gorganites.
Okay, this is really jumping ahead, but I just have
their catchphrase. It seems like midway through they're like, hey, we need some catchphrases here. Get the Gorganites on it. Get everybody that's not Archer. Give them a catchphrase.
That one that spins, he's a cheeky little bastard, isn't he?
He's the only fighter they have.
That guy's practically straight out of Space Jam. I don't know if they just cut him out of Space Jam and put him right in this.
Yep, I think you're right.
So this is really jumping ahead, but since we're just talking about the chip, I do have to just mention it's the same chip in the Gorgonzolas. Like they're gonna
the Gorgonzolas still have the same X1000.
Yeah, they're still gonna want to take over the world eventually. Alan, you just let that like T-8000 loose in the woods, and that's gonna turn into Skynet and be the end of the world.
How'd he get to Yosemite anyways? How'd he get there?
He lives right out, it's in the backyard.
Does he?
I guess. Yeah.
What's going to happen with those toys? That's a good point, Cameron. They're setting him off to sail.
Hear me
down the stream.
We read a scary movie
I've
called
got
Gorganites, and it's just these tiny little gnome creatures in the forest killing campers and taking supplies.
I didn't know.
They learn.
I didn't know we'd get to the end so quickly.
We had to. We almost have to if we're talking about the ship.
If we're going to talk about the Gorganites, those assholes aren't going to make it around the bin. They're nothing but losers. They just hide the whole...
did you see how low that boat was? That's taking on water quick.
Although I will say...
boat. That's got no lacquer on it. It's not water resistant.
Well, it's probably plastic. I will say, though, I think their battery life was said to be
toy shore. That's for sure wood.
Their battery life was said to be like virtually everlasting, so I guess they got some time out there.
Yeah, but they learned at a snail space. They're like, and beyond that window, and beyond
Archer was only on.
Okay,
Archer was only on Wikipedia for like maybe an hour. He doesn't know how to steer a ship, let alone what rapids are.
Yeah, so they hit a rock, they tipped, and they all fried. Best case scenario. Worst case, hawks, wolves, animals. They didn't fend well.
Well, the good thing is because they're dolls, they don't need to like.
They're action figures.
My apologies. Because they're action figures and
don't use the D word.
They're inanimate objects, so they're not come to life. They're just robots, right?
Yeah, they're just robots.
They don't have like souls, but they don't need to.
But they
eat
have
or
a
anything.
conscience now because they did become smart. Jordan, there.
Are we on a robot kick lately? Look at us.
Yeah, kind of.
Movies.
Yeah. Any wormholes in this one?
Not that I know of, other than just like chips don't work like that. So animosity and alike. That's a bad truck driver. That's a good truck driver.
Had nothing but likes. Love that guy. In fact, all I wanted to do was talk about. First of all, if you're that truck driver, you don't know the kid you're dropping off to.
Mm-mm.
You don't. There's no small talk.
There's always a situation where like there's a truck driver that is befriended the son of the store shop owner in these movies. What's going on there?
But I like how he was so willing to be like, hey, yeah, I'll drop a box. Just I'll be back on Monday.
Job.
You get me $260.
And I like how he's like, oh yeah, I totally lose one whole order of shipments like fall off the truck at a time. Yeah, that's no problem.
I'll lost the paperwork. You're fired, dude.
Yeah, this is Jerry. This has happened 10 times now. You can't keep losing orders.
Yeah.
Dick Miller. God, I like that guy. He jumps off the screen for me. Get more Dick Miller in my life.
You know, the little bastard kid at the beginning that was like, Grandma, this store doesn't have any. He's kind of right.
No, he's totally right. Sucks. So, question: his dad doesn't send any action toys. He just sells novelty wooden
war toys,
novelty
like
toys, rocking
wooden
horses
blocks.
and balls and stuff.
So that totally exists, but it doesn't exist. Well, if it does exist in a small town, hopefully your rent's low. But here's what annoys me the most, right? Not the type of shop he's running. That's whatever. That's your choice. It's that you have one of the, like a 2-story house on Main Street. Man, the 90s were good to people.
Yeah, they were.
That shit ain't happening.
And it looks like the wife was maybe just like a flight attendant. I don't know what she was doing.
Flight attendant, travel agent, something.
Travel agent. Do the travel agents look like that?
They
wear that.
I've never seen one. Okay, you're right. Flight attendant. She's probably like a flight attendant, right?
Didn't leave. Didn't fly anywhere. Next question about the flight. Even that. Just how long was the dad gone?
Yeah, it felt like 6 hours.
Yeah,
not all.
It didn't seem like long. He was back at the end of the next
short
day.
flight, and
yeah, that's a little off.
Here's the
Pissed
question.
me off a little bit.
I don't know the troubled past of our main character, right, the kid, but it seems like he's done some pretty bad stuff. Bomb threat to school, tried to set a fire. Hey, Dad, Mom, don't let him watch your store. Either close up shop or hire someone else.
Yeah, he's a problem.
That's on them now. And she's like, did you lock the doors, turn off the lights, take the cash out of the register? Doesn't ask for the cash or where the cash is at.
Yeah, did you take it out? No. The answer is no, he didn't do any of those.
Yeah, I took it all and
the
bought
answer
smack,
is yes,
Dad.
he did smoke weed in the back.
I bought smack, guitar, and a bunch of fucking dolls. I mean, figurines.
Hey, question. Why do all these kids have motorbikes? Like, the cool kid has, like, a straight-up motorcycle. I'm pretty sure he has, like, a little, like...
That's a gang.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I'm just saying. I think
is older, and I'd like to get some ages out of there. Is this kid like 16, and Kirsten Dunst and our main character like what, 13, 14? Or is it just like freshman, senior year?
That's what she said.
She did say that, and here's my question. There's nothing, I would say, more fictitious in movies. Kids' movies make it look like if you got a car, you get the babes. And like, you can have babes without a car. I don't know. You can even have a car. Yeah, easily.
But you get a babe with a motorcycle, Jordan.
You're right. You get a certain type of babe.
What sport is he playing? He says we're versing JV later. Is that football? I'd like to see maybe a basketball thrown at Alan, like hit his chest.
No indicated. He's giving me mad lacrosse vibes, if you know what I mean. I don't like him. I don't trust him.
Seems like a hockey guy to me. Hockey guys have motorcycles, don't they?
Yeah, he should have some type of sports equipment to indicate what he is.
Yes.
And secondly, even if you are dating younger people, which is, your choice in high school, that's a weird move for me. I hope she's in high school. But don't go watch practice.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I'm not coming to practice.
Hey, do you want to come sit in the stands while we do drills?
The answer to that is I'd love to, but because it's practice, there's no fucking stands.
True.
There's no concessions either.
I'm just going to grab a chair from the lunchroom and watch you guys practice.
Yeah, there are no stands. You're right.
There's no fucking
stands. That's a great point.
Hey, first before I get to this, just question to you guys. So you realize these toys are a little dangerous at the beginning. They're ruining the toy store. How many minutes do you think it would take you to stomp them all to death and end this problem then and there? Before they make cars, before they make weapons,
before they make a helicopter.
Yeah, like when they're initially going crazy, he just leaves them in the shop. Just stomp them all. They have.
When do you think he realized, though? I think that first night he was rushing out of there. He had to get his dad his ticket.
That's true.
Which the dad seems flippant and just aloof himself.
Well, there's a reason he's acting out and has problems. Bad parenting.
No, that's a good question. I don't
know when you know, but my biggest animosity about even take it all the way to possess dolls. You're so much bigger. Take the head away. Start lighting stuff up. Figure it out.
What's that story that like with the human that gets tied down? Like it's in the Page Master. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen the Page Master forever.
You know what I'm talking about? Hold on.
What are you trying to say?
I'll touch base on that.
So I mean, but the answer is that's what they do at the end of this movie. They just hit their heads and light them on fire. Pretty quickly,
right? Yeah.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Make an EMP. So, question, these toys aren't out yet, right? It's not released yet. But then Alan Abernathy calls customer support, and they are not at all like, how do you have this? Like, she's just answering as if this is a common question with these toys already. I just have a lot of problems with that scene.
Do you know what stood out to me in that scene more than anything? One, shout out, it was Sherry O'Terry, right?
I believe so.
But two, he's like, Alan is like, get me to a machine. I don't want to talk to a person. I'm like, how do you think that's
Is it Gulliver's Travels?
Oh, like...
Yeah, I think he gets tied down by small possible pygmies.
That's true. Now, listen, in defense of all the humans here, the Commando Elite crew, they put together quite a bit of pyrotechnics. They really light some shit up.
Pretty impressive.
But I still think you could stomp the shit out of them.
Yeah, easily. Even their equipment they're building. They have little arms. They have no muscles.
Yeah, but they are shooting nails and flaming tennis balls at you.
Yeah, Alan gets shot with like 6
house.
of them up and down his leg, and he's like, not even phased.
Ow!
Ow, damn. But it looked like real deal, at least nails, right? At mower, little knives.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a firearm that could shoot out a little corn husker. You know what I'm thinking? Those little corn holders that you use?
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
He got shot in the leg with like 5 of those. I don't know if there's something that could do that.
You know, I've just tried to shoot anything other than a Nerf dart out of a Nerf gun. You can't just...
You can't
just stuff anything in a hole and make a projectile out of it.
You guys can't. The Commando Elites can, though. That's like their whole thing.
Well, they are chip mix. Yeah.
What was the Commando Elite's goal? Where did it stop?
Eliminate all Gorganite scum and all Gorganite accomplices.
Allies.
Yeah.
Once they did that, and hear me out, well, then what? We're good?
Yeah. Then they set up camp and they,
Yeah, I think they set up camp and just do normal, like,
patrols,
bunker stuff.
Yeah.
Just trailing
patrols.
PT, stuff like that?
Yeah, normal stuff.
Now, I don't think that...
I don't think you can just like Bride of Frankenstein a bunch of Barbie dolls with a chip and some electricity. Like they don't have
one of the bigger
circuits, they don't have
you
wires.
can't just
they don't have any of the motors. They don't have the chips. Like you can't just do that. They're still
I'll give you
Barbies.
bigger animosity. How many Barbies does she have?
A lot.
A lot of Barbies
26
for
Barbies? A lot of
possibly a high schooler. A lot of them.
God, we're hoping she's a high schooler. At youngest, hopefully 13.
Stop bringing up the age gap thing here.
I don't know what it is, but I feel uncomfortable with it.
That's a good point. Why did they even need the Barbies?
They didn't. They were just trying to make more.
Well, they were horny for a second there, weren't they?
There was maybe something like that. I don't know. It was
notice,
too much.
And again, a PG-13 movie, when I started this, it showed nudity. I'm like, what? I wasn't prepared for that. I think
Barbie
they're
nudity?
alluding to the Barbies.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, I'm looking.
Yeah.
I'm looking out for this nudity, but I didn't see it. So I'm glad that didn't make.
Speaking of like the rating sort of parameters, as a child I didn't realize that the mom was like drinking gin and tonic and got a little loopy with the sleeping pills. Didn't catch. I thought they were just sleeping pills. Didn't realize what was actually in the drink.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that too as a kid, but looking at it now, I'm like, oh, that's a little.
Clearly, when Phil Hartman is like yelling at Abernathy's like about his son, like, and she's still over there tripping. You can just kind of hear him in the background.
There was a line that stood out to me as the most. A lot of times when you rewatch movies as an adult from your childhood, there's some funny lines that are built in there for parents, especially in animated movies. But the one that really jumped out to me, what Alan's mom's like, be honest with me. Are you on crack? Are you on smack? Are you on black tar heroin? I'm like, what the fuck is that?
That's a PG-13 reference, but that is.
We took a lot of jumps from,
He had problems at the last two schools.
We started at crank.
We don't.
I know, but like heroin?
Yeah.
Black tar heroin? I don't know. And the way she was asking was like, really, are you on heroin?
Concerned.
Again?
Yeah.
We know you're on heroin.
Like, you shouldn't be on heroin again. Can I do a trickle down end of the movie? What I really liked, Dennis Leary's character just cut checks to everybody. That's the funniest thing in the whole fucking movie.
What has to be the amount on that
Millions.
check for you to just accept? It had to be over 5 million for you just to be okay with what happened.
Rebuild my
It
house.
covers the loss of the house for sure. Whatever their house is worth.
And
Let's
then
just say
also
that's
emotional
taken
damages.
care of.
400,000. I need millions. I need millions. 5 at least.
To not care at
Dennis.
all, because I could sue you for millions. You know what I mean? So like,
They were happy almost,
But guys,
right?
Yeah.
But guys, put yourself in their situation. You would take it. You're like, yeah, fuck my house. We'll get a new one. I have some sort of insurance.
Yeah, like like I've been looking for a reason to get out of the toy store business, and this is like cashing on something.
So does he just get away with? He just has that. He's got Elon Musk.
Yeah, he's just took
funds.
Nothing happens from this. This is why that we could make a sequel if anyone can get in contact with Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, and it sounds like he's sending more of these. I think is he just sending these toys to like? Didn't he say like a South American country to like fight
these are gonna,
some like
yep he's using these as he's black arms.
They're still around.
Black arms dealing to some shit and just selling this on the black market.
These chips are going to be a real issue.
So when I saw the garage scene when they're making those crazy vehicles, my first thought was like, God, if this was my house, thank God, there's nothing in there for them to make. What are they going to come out with? Like some spare nails they found in like a board?
A rubber band gun?
Great. You guys can't build shit in my garage. Okay, here's my biggest animosity maybe, other than the whole chip thing. When
mine is still you're bigger than toys, kill him.
Sure.
When
Irwin and the other guy get to the house, they're acting like this is the first time they've interacted with these toys. Like, did they never turn them on and test them and talk to them? Like, they're like, oh my God, these are practically
3 months.
alive.
It's not 6 months.
They were about to send them out. They were about to release, but they're like, oh my God, they talk back. Yeah, that was the point of them.
Yeah, there would be a crazy amount of market research for them, right?
Yeah. Like, and they, again, had to program that chip, so, like, they're acting like they've never seen the fucking things before.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kid's movie. I guess there's plot holes, but based on all of the assembly we saw and 3D printing and prototypes, yeah, they would have figured out. These turn evil real quick, or they're evil from the get-go.
Animosity for you. This is a T2 thing here, but they shouldn't have Alan Abernathy cleaning up all that like toy stuff at the end. You need company people taking everything out of there. So there's
radiation.
Just no trace. You don't want to leave a trace of any of this behind. It's a huge lawsuit. You're not having the families clean up their own house. Stupid.
How is this such an isolated incident too? Like I get people are pissed at the Fimples because maybe he's just a bad neighbor and turned up music loud, and like they just all shut their windows and turned up their action movies.
They looked outside.
Bombs were going off.
Yeah, well, I think they saw. I think it was more like, holy shit.
Oh,
do you see what's going on in their yard? They're being taken over by tiny little people.
Did law enforcement never got brought into it, right?
I don't believe so.
At the end.
Hey, listen, I just...
Fire and law.
Okay, so... And they got paid off too?
But didn't notice till the next morning, till
I will say this though, good neighborhood. Not calling
nice neighborhood.
Letting it ride out, you know? They're like, oh, they're just at it again, you know, gonna let
you know what a neighborhood
out.
Like that, it's a lot of window people, like not people in the window, but out of the window. Busybodies.
Gotcha.
If you were to pick a toy though, based off of watching the movie now as an adult or as a kid, who are you coming home with?
Chip.
You know my answer.
I'm taking the leader. Yeah, he's the coolest one.
Cool.
Oh no, man! I'm taking Archer, hands down. We're gonna learn together and be there for each other.
You watched PBS and I watched Nick.
Oh damn, that one actually hurt. I didn't watch PBS. I didn't want to learn a thing, so I get where you're coming from. Like, of course, the Captain Commando. I assumed that you would take that one that had the insane grin the whole fucking time. That guy's like, even in the group of evils, this one's like extra evil. Like this one's doing war crimes. I figured that's one.
With that, let's move it on to recasting. Recasting. Mark, I think you went the lowest. Who's the lowest character you have?
I'd say Larry is probably the lowest that I went.
Larry, the scientist?
Scientist, but the one who kind of came up with the commandos.
Gotcha. I got mine. It's Scott Conn.
Oh, I was thinking him. I actually really was.
Ocean's 11, 12, Scott Conn.
The David Cross character? Or
no, the other one.
The handsome one.
Okay. The Jay Moore character. Gotcha.
Nice. I actually literally was thinking of him. I did Owen Wilson, though.
Okay. Ooh, I'm kind of.
But I think I like yours better because Owen Wilson's more like a more well-known name, whereas So Cameron, I like that a lot.
This guy's a little more evil about it. Okay, then counter. Who's your Irwin, the geeky scientist? David Cross. I did Simon Pegg. I don't know why.
Oh, I get that.
I like that too. I went a little nerdier.
Sure.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Jordan, did you have? Oh, you didn't have him.
No, not
sorry.
Not quick fire like this.
No problem.
All right, keep it going.
Let's do Archer. These voice ones are kind of whatever. I did Sean Bean, leader of the Gorganites.
Nice.
I feel like these ones kind of have
a little
accents.
whisper on.
Yeah, I don't know. Mark, who'd you have?
He had an accent. That's why I did Patrick Stewart.
Oh, okay. I like that better. But for a hider and a loser, it's almost too commanding, though. You know what I mean?
This one is going to be tough to say because I don't have his name, but whoever plays Ferenzi, the
Centaur?
The centaur from Harry Potter 1. Harry Potter, this is where I leave you. That's my Gorganite. That's my archer.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Yep. Let's keep it with Chip then, to the Commando Elite Leader. I like mine.
I like mine a lot.
R. Lee
Ermey.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
He's the general guy. He's the guy that always...
He's the guy from Mail Call.
You
guys ever watch that show on History Channel, Mail Call?
Yeah,
it's like where people wrote in and like, hey, I want to see you like shoot a 50 cal, and like he would just do that.
He's the general and everything. He was in the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He's in Full Metal Jacket. He's the army trainer.
Before I even like rewatched this movie, I knew that's who I was going to pick to be
that
the
was
voice.
mine.
Well, I figured other people would pick him, so I am going to think outside at least a little bit of the box for this one because I had a little time. I'm going to do some Chris Cooper. You're going to know him from American Beauty, but also the dad from October Sky. You're also going to know him from The Patriot. He's a little bit higher than Benjamin Martin.
I'll take that. He has a softer voice, kind of.
Yeah, but he can yell.
Not Viper from Top Gun, but the guy from Top Gun, Baldy Magoo.
The other general.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to our Top Gun, but also the Back to the Future trilogy. He's the principal.
Strickland.
Yeah, Strickland, yeah.
Who we just said.
Let's move it on to the real people. I didn't do the parents because, I mean, they're barely in it. What about Christy? That would be the...
Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst character.
I'm doing just another person who was actually cast in this movie. The voice of Christina Ricci. I'm just going to do Christina Ricci.
I'd be fine with that. That works pretty well for me. I'm doing another child actress. You would know her from Shameless, Emmy Rossum. She was also in Genius, some other things.
Cameron's on a roll today.
I'm feeling pretty good.
This is a good list by him. Jordan, not so much.
No, I got her, but I just got to come up with her name. Yeah, Tatiana Lee. I'm doing the younger sister from Fresh Prince. Had a big crush on her as a kid. Toss her in this role.
Oh, sure.
I'm about cool with that. Last but not least,
Ashley, is that her name in Fresh Prince?
I believe so. Finally, Alan. It's probably just because the dad from Transformers, but throw me a little Shia LaBeouf.
It's
It's him in Disturbia. It's the same trouble team.
It's him in Disturbia. It's him in Transformers. I did Omri Katz. It's Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely feels like more like one of those, but I did it. I thought one of you guys would say it, and I wasn't afraid to do it. I'm going to do some Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
You know, he worms his way into most episodes, so I'll take him. It works.
And I'm going to take him possibly with long hair. Mid-length hair
still. Take it mid-length. We want the mid-length.
You want Mitch from Dazed and Confused.
Cameron?
You know how my thoughts. You all know how I feel about that. Not good.
Hear me out for the Jay Moore character. Before he was famous, but still like an up-and-comer. Matthew McConaughey. Give it to him. Let him roll with it. Tugger Nuts. Yeah, sure. That energy in 1998.
I'm cool with that. I can work with it. He's a little scrawnier. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Scrawnier.
I'm a little bit.
That's pretty.
With that, should we let us know what you thought of our recasting this week? But we're going to move it on to Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Top 4.
Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Mount Rushmore Top 4. This week, we're rating our top 4 toys that come alive in movies. We're going to kick it off, Jordan, Mark, and then me. Jordan, what's your number 1?
So here's the deal. You guys aren't going to like this because
he's throwing a wrench in this.
I was contemplating saving this for my honorable mention, right? But I just want to say it because I fucking like the movie and I think it applies to the rules. Inanimate it's Night of the Museum. It's Night of the Museum.
Oh, I called it. I knew it.
It's all those guys. Sorry. It kills for me. I think it's funny.
I'm fine with that.
No.
There, it's Night of the Museum.
I'm fine with that.
Good.
Oh, no.
I'm totally fine with that.
I know they're not technically toys, and I apologize about that. But it's what I went.
It made it on my honorable mention list for sure. I wasn't going to say it, but I love them. I love those two, Octavius and Jebediah. All right, Mark, can you get us back on track and give us some toys who come to life?
The Indian in the cupboard. Are those toys?
Uh-oh.
Okay, it's a toy.
Uh-oh.
It's a toy. Indian in the cupboard.
Yeah, that's I don't know what happens on the other side of the cupboard, but they go into
it. Yeah, they're totally toys.
Yeah. Kind of hate that kid, though.
But I will say this. That movie, even as a kid, is boring.
Yeah.
To say the least.
But even then, I'm like,
fantasizing.
I'm in. I like it. I assume as an adult, we probably didn't handle the Native Americans all that well.
Probably not the best.
The Indian in the cupboard. Haven't watched it since probably a rainy day at school.
Sure.
But I liked it.
Sure.
I liked it.
Now, I can either go classic number 1, or you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to say it's Toy Story.
Chalk. I mean,
it's the number
you can't
one.
leave it off the list.
But
sure.
it could have been, I thought it'd be funny if for our Mount Rushmore we did Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's the best depiction of toys coming to life.
Yeah.
With that, we have our honorable mentions, and I was gonna maybe say this, so I'll just say it for the first one.
Just before we get to honorable mentions, Toy Story 1 was 95. Small Soldiers is
98.
98. It feels like we're taking a little bit from that, don't you?
Well, I mean,
it was a hit.
Toys coming to life a tiny bit, yeah. I feel like we have to mention the classic, just Pinocchio, the boy coming to life. I mean, that's the number one.
Pinocchio is maybe the first one.
Yeah, I did think about that one.
Nutcracker.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the big one for me.
I'll let Cameron say the one he was too embarrassed to say. So
what? Oh, Babes in Toyland. I'm not embarrassed at all about that. The Drew Barrymore.
I come from CINC.
I'm specifically saying the Drew Barrymore and Keanu Reeves version that I grew up with, but a bunch of toy soldiers come to life at the end.
I'm surprised nobody saw that set. You know, we did it not too long ago. Child's Play, Chucky, all these iterations of scary movies with toys coming to life.
I did think about it. Go back and see.
I'm surprised you went just off the radar and did what you did instead of taking any of these really great picks.
Yeah, I could have said Toy Story. I could have said all of them. That's number one, probably.
Brave Little Toaster. A toaster isn't a toy.
Yeah, okay.
That's just anthropomorphic.
There's a lot of inanimate objects, and here's one I wanted to bring up. How do we feel about Beauty and the Beast? They're not toys.
No, that doesn't work.
You're playing with the footstool?
Here's what works, Jordan. Teddy bear, coming to life.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Raggedy Ann,
I thought somebody might say that.
Coming to life.
Oh, wow.
Winnie the Pooh, a toy bear coming to life.
I don't like Winnie the Pooh because I think that's all in Christopher Robin's head.
Well, they're still.
I know they're live to us, but I ain't buying.
They're not toys. They're based off his toys.
Yeah, but we never see them in toy form. We only see them in the 100-Acre Woods, and I don't think it's the same. Okay. I did see it on a bunch of lists. I just disagree.
Maybe he's on Black Tar Smack or something.
Cut to Christopher Robin.
It's like that weed commercial where that girl slumped into the couch.
They melt down. Yeah, except the difference between weed and black tar heroin is that's what black tar heroin does do to you.
Yeah, right.
You do just melt into the couch and then die eventually.
I'm seeing the last Mimsy. Never seen it, but I'm seeing that's
I think I have seen it, but I don't remember it. Oh,
Two siblings begin to develop special talents after they find a mysterious box of toys.
Mimsy. Go back and see our episode of Krampus. We have that Jack in the Box and some other Christmas characters that come to life and kill people.
Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah,
Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Any of the misfit toys that works as well.
Sure. In all honesty, you guys said the number 2 ones from my childhood. I mean, Toy Story can't miss. Mark, Indian in the Cupboard, aged like fine wine. Is that what we're saying?
I don't think so. I think it's a little problematic nowadays. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up for this week. Thanks for listening to our take on Small Soldiers. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate and review. If you want more content, check out the whole Majestic Jam Network on your favorite podcast app. I'm Not Crazy, Urban Hermit, the High Wire Podcast. What am I missing? I'm Not Crazy, and I'm Not Crazy. What you watching?
What you watching? The bonus content.
The bonus content. What you watching? Until then, we'll check you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.